Hello Scorpios, how you doing? Welcome to your 2025 reading for the year. And we're going to be going through, first of all, we're going to get a message from the Astroflower, sort of channel a message for you on both your financial and your relationship side. Then we're going to pull some cards. And the way it's going to work out is we're going to do it in season, so it's going to be in 3-month increments. Then we're going to look at what is possible to think what the energy is going to be like over the next year, and try and channel the energy that's coming from the sun, coming through the earth, and coming through your chakra and your aura system. So we'll go into that, and then we're going to go through each month and see the sticking points and pull some cards on those sticking points and see what those elements are doing and how the energy is coming into your life for each month, to see for if we get any sort of sticky moments or any sort of great moments as well on both sides. Okay, so I'll try and make it time stamped as well, so then you can jump from one to the other, because you may want to refer to this over the coming year, as it were, over the first coming few months, as it were. Okay, so without further ado, let's just bring up the Astroflower. So when I talk about 3-month increments, that's the first 3 months, that's the second 3 months, that's the third 3 months, and then that's the last 3 months. So it's going from sort of New Year 2025 to New Year Christmas 2025. Okay, so there's got your overall energies and the karmic path. Now we will be pulling 2 cards on each sort of section. Let's just first of all, let's just see what the sort of energy that's coming through you, coming through your energies, as it were, for this coming year. Let's just get, I want to get a general, actually, first of all, I want to get a general sort of feeling. It's a little bit like feeling your aura, as it were. Financially, it's very tight, very solid. It's like things are really falling into place, as it were. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen like Roman sort of arch bridges, and usually the keystone is the last stone that you put in the end. All the stones just go doop and sit and squat and fix in place, as it were, as you take away the scaffolding. Usually they used to, burn the scaffolding, and the person who designed the bridge would have to stand underneath it once it's sort of like the scaffolding falls, to prove that, to have faith in his building techniques. So yeah, so it's like that. That's what I get. It's like things just go ding and lock into place, as if things really do start to become concrete within your life. In your relationship side, different kettle of fish. It's much more vibrant, which is really nice. It's not so sort of ordained in certain extents. But yes, it's much more sort of here on this section here. It's almost, it's like there's a new lease of life generally within relationship side of your good self. So let's just I'm just sorting out my screens at the same time. Sorry, I do apologise, because it can get a little bit complicated. Let's just see what's going on there. So yes, it's like a new lease of life. It's like a tree that's got a lot of new shoots on it. And this is not just in one sense. I think this is in a lot of senses. It's like not only is in a one-to-one relationship, but also within relationships in regards to your family, your friends, your community, even with your spiritual path and your raison d'etre, as it were. That's the sort of feeling I get out of it, coming from that. Let's just pull a couple of cards from that and just see what's going on for you here. Let's just see. The first card we get is the Ace of Wands out there, out with the old and in with the new. I don't think it's necessarily out with the old. I think it's more of a case of here is that you get a focus on what really ticks for you this year. And it's as it ticks for you, it gives you that sort of notion of being in sync, things working for you without you having to really try too hard for it to work. And you also get the Eight of Cups as well. I think the Eight of Cups is certainly I think it's much more on your relationship side rather than on your financial side. I do think you do need to be curious this year. We're going from Pluto in Capricorn to Pluto into Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about sort of humanity, all about sort of like, putting the past in the past and moving on to the future, fresh start and everything like that. And it feels like this you're taking that essence on board totally within this year here. And I do think you do need to be a little bit more curious about the relationship side or the spiritual side of life and so forth. I think you need to, I think this newfound enthusiasm that you have, this newfound fire that is within you, this newfound passion within you, will also help to drive that curious side of kind of going, oh, what about this? What about this activity? Start doing yoga, meditation, or going on a big retreat somewhere. It could well be along those sort of lines, exploring avenues of life that you may not have taken the time or may not have had the time to do that in the past. Okay, so that's what it seems to be like within that's running through you. Okay, let's just see what's going on the karmic path on your relationship side. I don't know if I said this in your weekly reading actually the other week. Something about discovering what tastes good for you. I think this is what the karmic path here is all about. It's sort of like with this newfound confidence, because I think that's what is driving it. This newfound confidence within you and that curiosity side is allowing you to taste new things in life. And it seems like that's the most important driving aspect of your karmic path. It will open doors for you in regards to relationships. If you're looking for a one-to-one love and being intimate with someone in a very emotional and loving way and what have you, once you start becoming curious about your own spiritual or your own well-being or your own energy, that's when you're going to start opening doors. Yeah, there is a degree of six. You get Six of Pentacles here. Six of Pentacles is about, putting yourself first in a really good way. Once you've got that fair exchange, once you've got that, when things work for you, then you can then help it work for others. But it's got to work for you first. And I think this is where, it's an exploratory sort of year for you in regards to your karmic path. There's a lot to explore from within you. And it's really beautiful. It's really nice, I think. Really, really nice sort of thing. And you get the Emperor card with it as well. This is about sort of owning your future. Really owning your future in a really, really beautiful way. It's you who has complete control over what you engage in the world. And it's got to be on your terms. It's got to be good for you. It's got to feel right. And this is anything to do with relationships, emotions, spirit. So it's regardless of whether we're talking about, sort of like a spiritual path here or even relationship of a one-to-one love with, it's got to work for you. You've got to feel very confident about it. Once you do, then, you open the flood doors, as it were, Scorpio, you really do. You open your arms really wide once you feel confident about sort of situation. And that's what you're building here. But in order for that confidence to be installed, and that's with the Emperor card, you do have to, it's you who has to make the first step, not necessarily by asking the person out. That's not what I mean. But I mean, doing things in your life that makes you feel good about life, basically. Makes you feel really, really good about life. Really good about what you're doing, what you're exploring, what you're investigating, what you're experiencing. Once you start doing that, then I think you're going to, if you're looking for love this year, then I think there's a really good opportunity for you to find someone who's incredibly solid and in line with you, which is really nice. Let's just see what's going on in the first 3 months. This is much more, it speaks much more to the curious side of life. You're going into your spring period. When I talk about rhythms in life, rhythms are according to your birthday. So in the first 3 months after your birthday is the winter period. Then the next 3 months after that is the spring period, and then we go into the summer period, and then we go into the autumn period, which is the last 3 months before your birthday. The time you're going to have the most amount of energy is obviously during your summer period, but it goes up in increments, as it were. And in this first sort of like January, February, March, there's a real transition here for you of understanding and really getting into the swing of life, the swing of joy, of exploring and so forth around you. There's because we're talking about 3 month period here. There is a few people who may not understand your new discovered joy and enthusiasm for life, and they may well cause a few complications, but it's nothing really major. I think they're like tiny little blips, and they're sort of like, could be a family member or a friend who sort of kind of doesn't understand why you're being like you are, because you've discovered a lot about yourself, and you're opening up to a lot of things. And because you're opening up to a lot of things, people may not quite understand it. So maybe communication is key. Yeah, as I said, like there's some, you get the 6 of Cups here. So we got 2 6s already on the board here. This is a year of kind of going, yes, come on, let's do it. And yeah, there is some people in the past that don't forget, the good times that you've been through as well with these people. And it's helping that person to understand or encouraging them to explore life. But I wouldn't, block your pathway for these people. And this could be a partner, but communication is key. Communicating with another is a really good idea. You also get the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I think you're going to be... you're exploring, this is this new shoot of life that's sort of happening. The Page of Pentacles here, they're learning about planting a seed, growing that seed and getting the fruit. So basically it's learning about cultivating your luck, your physical presence within your life, so you get the rewards that you so desire out of it. And in that first 3 months here, I think this is really trying things out in a really, really good way. Exploring things. I think it's going to be in a very exciting first 3 months. Enjoyable. Certain things that really sit together. Other things that you might need a little bit of, you need to stand back a little bit. But then that's life. It's the ebbs and flows of life a little bit. And we'll see that with the energies and the elements at the end. But it seems very sort of vibrant and joyous. Let's just see what's going on for the next 3 months. So we're looking at April, May, June. This is good. If you've got an opportunity for meeting someone on a romantic level, or, really diving deep within your relationship or your existing relationship, if you're already in one, or, exploring very sort of passionate connections that I'm getting here off of these 3 months here. Very passionate, very strong, very vibrant energies. You got the 9 of Pentacles. Sticking to your journey. This is where maybe in the first 3 months there may be a lot of sort of changes that are going on, or you're cultivating a lot of differences within your life. You've got to stick to those changes. You got to stick by them, as much as the outside world may be, causing you a few problems. Those 8 of Wands there is all the information that you've gained in the 3 months that are allowing you to make decisions, to take that one wand and go off in a direction that really corresponds to you. And you have to be strong about it. The spiritual path, there's many temptations on the pathway to deviate, to also cut corners. If Spirit has told you that alcohol is not a good thing, you can't just sort of like dip in and dip out. If you've decided that that's it, I can't have alcohol in my life for the next year, then that's fine. Until you've made peace with alcohol, or something like that. And it's like, people may not understand your happiness from within. And I would stick with it in these 3 months here. As you move from your spring into your summer period. And look at that, you get the King of Wands. Yeah, I think this 3 months here, April, May, June, is the months that is going to like really, really asking questions of you, asking questions of your determination, your strength, your inner strength that is within you. Yes, I've actually pulled off the wrong pack, but I don't mind. I don't care. It's good for you. I'm going to put off the other pack with the other top two ones. But yes, inner strength for you. I think that's what it's all about in those 3 months there. It's knowing your true value. And that's what the curiosity has done for you. It's opened up the idea of finding your true source of energy. I think that's really important. And in those 3 months there, the April, May, June, I think this is where you're really starting to apply that in your life and stand by it and stand by yourself. Stand by yourself and going off. There is a going off on a journey here. There's a journey of discovery that's going on, I think, the whole time through this. And it's an inner journey as much as anything else. There could be traveling involved in it, but certainly staying true and strong to who you are, I think, is a really good thing. In your future self, okay, so this is where we get July, September, October. So we're just touching into your autumn period here. And I think your autumn period normally, traditionally, is a time when you've got the least amount of energy. And you're going into a moment of retrospection. But that's not what I feel off of here. Here I get like, it's like you've broken through something in these 3 months here. It's like you've broken through like a glass ceiling. And because you've broken through that glass ceiling, you are, here is where you're shooting for the stars. You're really breaking through that clouds, as it were, in the sky. Like anybody, when you've been on a plane, you go through the clouds, you come out the top of the clouds, there's sunshine everywhere. Even if there's a really horrible grey day underneath you, it's really quite beautiful. So yeah, it's being attentive to that and getting ready to go, as it were. You get the Ten of Swords. Something is dead, done, and dusted with. I think you're doing a great spiritual awakening or energetical awakening on your side. This here is here. I think I get more than anything else is that it's okay. It says on this card, it's a Ten of Swords, but it says everything is fine, as you can see on that. It's the White Witch Tarot pack. And I think this is where it's okay. It's like, you're just kind of going, it's almost as like kind of going, thank, that is over. I don't have to deal with that anymore. And I think it's a real joyous moment. And it is breaking through that glass ceiling. And it could be the separation in a relationship. That a relationship is like, you're exploring, you're opening up your energies to the world that is around you. And, people go at different speeds. And if it's not possible within a relationship, it's not possible. It's rather recognizing that than, taking it to its limits where you end up being really toxic relationship for both people concerned. But here I think is like, there's something here that's sort of like, comes in the form of could be a friend, could be a family member, that it's been difficult over these last couple of months, these last 3 or 4 months, and now it's finally coming to an end where you're kind of going, oh yes, thank for that. I mean, wow, great. I'm glad that's been over and done and dusted with. And the Four of Pentacles, and this is because the reason it's coming to an end is because you are finally taking control, or you're owning what energies you put out there. So you are owning what you're getting back. And that's what the Page of Pentacles, at the very beginning of the year, this whole cycle, Page of Pentacles is usually a cycle of around about 9 months. And this is what we got here. And I think what's coming out of this, in this section here between July and October, July, August and September. So coming through towards your birthday season. I think you're realizing, really, this is good for manifestation, basically, in regards of happiness, where you're sort of saying, I'm not going to give my energy anymore to that Ten of Swords. That Ten of Swords is over. I think communication is key, maybe, but at the end of the day, if the communication is not possible, it is not possible. Let's just have a look what's going on your the last 3 months. So we're talking October, November, December here. So this is including your birthday season. There's a lot of passion going on. I think it's equivalent here. This is what's coming back with a vengeance within your life, and it's like there's a lot of energy here, a lot of vibrant energy, a lot of determination. There is a lot of happiness as well, but that happiness goes hand in hand with you being determined about enjoying life. So things, I think, is a real 360 degrees within everything. You get the Nine of Swords here, woes and worries. I think that's to do with the last 3 months before your birthday. And that's your autumn period. So there is a bit of woes and worries about you reflecting on things. And it is making judgments upon yourself or the situation that is around you. And I think that is where you're going to own it. Because you're not going to allow your woes and worries to actually take you out. And yes, I think there is a degree of, because it's the autumn period, as I said, so you're going to be looking at what you've been doing for a year, what you want to continue, what you don't want to continue, and creating a plan for your future, your new year, which is your birthday. And from that point there, you get the King of Cups. I think this is the end of all woes and worries for you. I think this is where you're taking so much ownership of your manifestation of your happiness. So if I want to go to the cinema, the moment I do this through my healing and stuff like that, the moment we have a want, let me pull this straight up. The moment we have a want, so I want to go to the cinema, for example. The moment I recognize that want within me, there is a load of needs that get put into place. So to go to the cinema, I need money. I need to know what day, what film, with who. Are we going to eat the pizza before or after the cinema, and etc. What time and everything like that. Once I've got those needs in place, I can manifest my wants. And I think this is what the bigger lesson you're learning in regards to your emotional well-being in the world, and how you are now taking control of that. You're taking control back from other people, from the rest of the world, imposing how you should, or what sort of joy you should have in life. and you're really starting to you're learning to really own it more than anything else. Really own it, much more than you have done in the past. You know, and owning it will mean sort of manifestation, manifestation sort of things will be. It will be much easier for you to manifest the greater future for you if you know what activities you enjoy. Therefore, you're going to start meeting the people that you enjoy. And I think this is the main thing that's happening in this section in the beginning part of the year. You're opening up to a lot more sort of connection with people that are around you. And once you do, then you can then choose how you invest your time, money, effort, energy, emotions into your life, or what aspects you invest in. And that is where you're going to start producing the connections and manifesting what you so want. It's about planting those seeds. I think that's almost like the most important card in the pack here, in this side of your life, your relationship side. I think there's a lot of things that have, that have come to pass because you're evolving. Okay, let's just have a look and see what's going on that financial side. Let's just see what the karmic message says on that financial side for this coming year. Often we've saying in business, don't mix business and pleasure, right? I think that obviously, I think the more you can enjoy what you do, the easier it is to get the success out of it. Okay, so I think there is a degree of that, but I think what it's trying to say here is just this year here, take out the emotions when dealing with your financial wealth, and just be very clinical about it. And it's sometimes a little bit difficult. It's sometimes a little bit difficult to apply it, but in the long run, it's going to be better for you. It's going to be better for the people around you if you do take away the emotions out of the situation and get involved in your, your passion for doing a really good quality job. And in your karmic path, you have the Queen of Wands. Now, she's obviously looking at this one tea light here, and she's got loads at her base with this lovely, beautiful black cat, as it were. And I think this is where you've got to understand the magic of no. And it doesn't say, when you shouldn't really be asking why. I should say yes or no to a situation, but rather should I say yes or should I say no? Regardless of the why for the moment. The why is usually too big a question to ask, and can become quite complicated to answer. And I think you need to be really engaged in the here and now. And don't allow yourself to be emotionally distracted or hoodwinked in the world around you. Yeah, you get the Five of Wands as well. This is about this Five of Wands here is you extracting yourself from a complicated situation. This person here is you. So you're extracting yourself from a situation which is a little bit complicated. It could involve sort of, bit of competition with your competitors within your business, or it could be sort of office politics and so forth. What it's saying here is the best way round this is just to really engage in what you love doing and the aspects of the job that you love doing, and really driving your passions into that. Because this is also a learning curve about being the best example of yourself and taking yourself out of conflict. Stopping yourself from, getting sort of dragged down in the world. And this is what I mean about the no as well. I think it's really important for you to be precise of the situation. and being exact with yourself and with the world that is around you. Let's just see what's going on the first 3 months here. So this is from January, February, March. It's like you've got, let's just say you've got a business, or you've got a business and you've signed a contract, you've got a good contract that's coming in. But because you've got that good contract that's coming in, it allows you now the financial luxury to then go after new contracts. Because you've got this consistency, you've got this consistency that comes in. So let's just say if you've got yourself a job and you want to get that promotion. Now, because you've already got a position within that company and you feel comfortable within that company, it allows you to sort of play a bit and explore, but just don't get yourself involved in any conflict. It doesn't seem like it's worth it to you. It doesn't seem to help you more than anything else. Let's just have a look what's going on there. Now you get the Six of Swords. This is all about transition. As I said, this is where you'll get something that brings in a bit of stability, brings in sort of plain sailing and so forth. I think this is really good. We've now got 3 sixes at your base here, which is fantastic. 6s is like you get the pyramid at the bottom and then you get the pyramid at the top. It's the yin and yang version, but it's much more mechanical, the 6. It's understanding both sides of the story and having to go through not difficult times, but challenging times. And that's where that 5 of Wands comes into play. It's that inner fight within you that allows you to deal with the challenges of the moment within the world around you within this first 3 months. And that's what's going to set up, I think, this whole sort of coming together of things. Look at that. I just it's 6 of Swords twice on the same thing. This here, and this card here, you see this person here is actually it's like your past self is looking after your future self and guiding you to much better shores, much more sort of calmer waters. And I think this is that first 3 months of setting things into action, as it were. And once you do, it's like you've put the scaffolding off. I talked about the Roman bridge. It's like you put the scaffolding up and you've put the bridges there. And this is where you're doing that work at the moment in the first 3 months. You're putting that all into place, and then once it's all into place, then you can take the scaffolding away, and your work and effort can just go and sit nicely. So let's just see what's going on the second month. This is it's very passionate, but it ties into this Ace of Swords, not out with the old and in with the new. It's more sort of like you discover your passions about life, and it could tie in as well to that and that Queen of Wands as well. This is where I think you can engage your passions. You can let's say stoke your fires, as it were. Put a bit of coal on the fire, or your locomotive. It's like, shoveling in a bit of coal and really getting your passions going in a particular direction. And I think this is like it's coming to a pinnacle. It's coming to a really good result. If we've got a business plan or something like that, or a career path, it's really getting to a point. This is the really calm shores, I feel, that come out of this. Yeah, look at that. 9 of Pentacles. A lot of reward coming in for you, and you're recognizing what is available to you. So you're recognizing. It's like I've said it before. The 9 of Pentacles reminds me of like the tomato plants, for example, and the grape of the bunch of tomatoes you get growing on the vine. you know, they gradually get redder as they go up. So it starts red a bit at the top, and then they gradually go down. So then you should have tomatoes every single day. Fresh, good, ripe tomatoes every single day. And this is because of that sort of work you're doing in the first 3 months. This is where you're now starting to see the good results. Look at that! Scorpio, this is mad. I keep shuffling each time. Look at that. 6 of swords, 6 of swords. Right? 9 of wands, 9 of wands. It's making my life so easy. This is what I mean about things just going. Things are really syncing together getting into sync. This is a similar sort of thing here. You know, you can see on one side you've got 6 of pentacles, so you're looking after yourself. And the 3 of pentacles is working well with other people that are around you. That's the beautiful part of the 9 of pentacles. It's pre-empress energy, as it were. And you're really, things are starting to pay back. Your investments are really starting to pay back for you on that sort of side. Let's just see what's going on from July, August, September. Let's just see what's going on for that. Okay, so now you've got the results coming in May, June, April, May, June. And after that, you get this. This is like, you know, some of the tomatoes that I get off that tomato plant, I've got to keep some of them, so I've got the seeds for the next coming year. And this is where you're really getting into a cycle of perpetual gains, which is really nice. You're providing for the next year, but also you're providing for the here and now and being very passionate about it. And all of a sudden, it's like you've got this solid foundation to really go after your dreams and aspirations. And you get the 7 of wands. It empowers you this moment here. It makes you feel very, very successful. I think this is because of that. I think these are where the 2 passions come together. And now, within you, it's really driving your solar plexus, really driving that inner energy within you, that you know that this is a path. The 7 is a number of revelation for me. It reveals to you what the evident path for you to be following, where you should be going. And it's all about determination. And now things are really working for you. It's almost as if like you're telling yourself, I've got this job now, and I'm not going to lose it. And also I'm going to start developing that career path and moving up the ladder, as it were. So same with the business. I've started this business, starting to get the results, and now I can, with that confidence, I can now build something that's far greater. And I think this is what we were saying earlier on regarding getting that contract and getting things moving on for you. So it becomes very obvious and evident for you. And that's when you can start manifesting. It's like manifesting your future. You get the magician card there. When I say things go like that, it's like you're impenetrable, and you can get enormous amounts of results in your life. I almost want to say you're too big to fail. That's what it feels like. It's too big to fail. So let's just see what's going on in the last 3 months, and then we'll go on to seeing what's happening with the energies over the coming year and seeing how that plays out in your Astroflower, combined with the Astroflower elements over the next year. And we're going to pull some cards on the energies that are coming out. Let's just see what's going on there in the end of the year. Maybe this is okay. So So it's a bit of a stinger in the tail, which is good for Scorpio, as you well know. It's a bit of a stinger in the tail. It's almost as if like kind of going, I've done that, got the success. I'm going to move on to something completely different now, and it's maybe that's what you're manifesting. with that newfound security in your career path or in your business or whatever, it might be a case of sort of saying, well, in that case, I'm gonna buy a house. I'm gonna renovate a house. And then you start renovating a house and you realise you actually really like renovating that house and you're actually going to make money out of renovating that house if you sell it on. You know, and you kind of think, actually, do you know what? I could do that. And there's something that comes out of it which is very, very rewarding to you. You get the Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups, sorry. It could be that because you're getting this security, because you know this path that you can go down and you feel that security, and yes, it does bring you in good security. And I think it's a very good stepping stone across a river. But it doesn't give you exactly or everything that you were so desiring. It doesn't bring in the ultimate. It doesn't. It's like, it's like winning the lottery, but only winning, like the third or fourth prize down. It's a good amount of money, but it's not the number one prize. And you want more. And I think you feel a little bit, might feel, it's not disappointed, but it didn't bring in, it brought in the security, but didn't bring in the cherry on the cake or the icing on the cake. And I think that's, a little bit disappointed about that sort of side of things. But you do have the Two of Cups that is next to it. And I think this is what is opening up a whole new thing for you. With the Moon card, I think it's actually quite surprising to you. Yeah, this is a Scorpio card. This is a Scorpio card, and it is eclipsing the sun on this here. The moon here, it's like it's eclipsing the sun, but it's not. Sorry, I was actually looking at the Eight of Pentacles because that is eclipsing the sun. But this is about you shining a light on an aspect of your life that you wouldn't normally see because you've been so concentrated on the path that you've been leading at the moment to get to where you want to be, to get to this position of security where things are really and really working. I think it's provoking in you, sort of kind of going, well, now I've got this security. How can I take my life on in a very passionate way, in other angles that I didn't think I would be able to do before? If you hadn't had that job, you wouldn't be able to buy that house, and therefore you wouldn't have known about actually renovating houses. I love renovating houses, and I can sell it and I can make some money out of it. In fact, I could do that as a full-time job. It's you wouldn't know it until all this security falls into place. So it builds for a beautiful crescendo at the end where actually it may not have brought you everything that you so desire, but what it has done is shown you to the door that you can go through to something which is way much bigger than I think you can imagine. And do not rest on the idea that sort of saying, oh, I've got this job, therefore I can never go any further. You may not be able to go further in that job, but you might be able to use that job to go further in something else. That's what seems to be playing out of it. Okay? Let's just have a look at how the energies are playing in your year and see how that's going to be affecting your flower in each month. And we're going to be putting some cards on that. Okay? So we're actually looking at much longer cycles here. So what we have before us here is the last 100 years of solar cycles. Now you can see that they go up and they go down and etc. And what you'll notice as well that there was a big peak in the 1960s of energies, which you can see here. And it was a singular peak, really high, very sort of short, high cycle with lots and lots of eruptions, and then it dropped very steeply down to the beginning. So the main sort of part of that cycle was the up and the down really of that cycle. Each cycle usually takes around about 10 years, and as you can well see at the top here, you've got this is cycle 25 where we're in at the moment, and it goes back gradually through the cycles. And before that, you do have a lot of sort of singular sort of points, really. There is a couple of doubles that are going on that's mixing up a little bit, and that comes in from the disturbing ones that happened at the beginning of the century from 1900 through to 1910. A very self-analysis. That's when you had Rudolf Steiner, Freud, everything like that started coming out of the woodwork of that moment there, of understanding a lot about ourselves and a lot about energies. And then it really peaked into the between 1910 and 1920s in a real sort of direction. That's when we had the first WW1. And then after that, then we had the economic crisis, which happened in this section just below in the 1930s. And then in the 1940s to the 1950s, this is where we had the height of it as well. It's a very much more sort of continuum, but it comes out of these two lows. These two lows are the influencing things that what comes into the future. Okay, so you might be seeing a little bit of a repeat pattern here. There is one low, and then there's a high, and then there's another low cycle, and then there's 3 high cycles. And then we get another low cycle that goes between 1960 to 1975. That's the end of Summer of Love, and then we have the civil rights movements and everything like that, which is all fantastic, very introspective sort of thing going on, as we saw in the 1960s. And then in the 1970s, then you had 3 high cycles. But the difference here is we now start seeing defined the double peak cycle. Whereas before we had a very much more sort of singular peak, and now we go into the double peak. And this has something to do with the cycles, but it also has to do with pole shift and stuff like that. So we've gone through these sort of like double peaks, and we've had this really low cycle, which was cycle 2024. And obviously we saw what happens with the low cycles before. We get the repercussions in the next few years after that. I don't think we're going to be repeating the same things. I don't think what happened in the early part of the 20th century between 1915 and 1920 and 1935 and 1940 and 45. I don't think we're going to be going into those sort of scenarios here. I think it's going to be different things that it's a struggle from within more than anything else. And this has a lot to do with AI, technology, everything like that, where we sort of lose our place in a way. But let's just home in a little bit and let's start getting onto the solar cycles that have just been gone from the year 2000 roughly. Let me just bring that into place. Okay, so here we have going back to 2000, and you can see the ups and downs of the solar cycles. The red line is the average line basically, and look at these double cycles that we can see even on the low and on the high. When we get in the solar cycles that goes between the 1990s and 2008, around about that period, then it started dying down. So that's when temperatures as well will start reducing as well, and I think they'll still keep reducing for the next at least 15 years before we go into another high cycle maybe, or a complete and utter change with the pole shift. I think that's what's going to come first anyway. So we've gone through this, and let's just have a look over the past 5 years. Let's just take it right down to the solar cycle that we're living at the moment. I just need to move my thing here. So this is the solar cycle at the moment. We had this low section that's going on here, and then we had this transitional moment here, which has actually been quite steady. It hasn't been particularly steep, but I think we're going into, these are the 2 peaks. I've got a funny feeling these are the 2 peaks that we're having here already. And I think we're going to go into, in 2025, a drop off of the energies. And what does that mean for us? Well, during the high cycles, I'll just bring it back a little bit. So we've got 30 years. During the high cycles, this is when we get a lot of fire energy, fire and air energy. During the transition, we get during the transition in these section here, this is where we get filament energies. And we have been experiencing a lot of filament energies over the past over the past month or 2 months. And I think this is where, and corona holes are starting to come back in as well. So I think we're actually going to go into another sort of decline. I would have thought it would turn up really around about sort of, we'll really start noticing it in January and February. And that's where filament energies are going to become a lot more important. Now, filament energy is water energy. And I go into it in the energy updates. If you don't see the energy updates, please go and see them every week, because it will keep you in heads up, and you'll learn a lot about the vibrations that are coming through your chakras and your aura. And you will understand a lot of things about emotions as well, which are influencing us, so then we can understand why we're in this emotional state that we're in at a certain particular time. So in these moments where we're going from the height to the lower cycle, it's all to do with filament energies, and we've been seeing that a lot in the energy updates. So as this energy is transferring from a high cycle to low cycle, we tend to see a lot of filament energies, and we've been seeing that within the energy updates. Now, filament energies is all about water energies, and it can be very productive, it can be very controlled, but it also can be very explosive and destructive at the same time. And it depends upon the type of energies that it's connected with, which we will see on these images here. Let's just have a look at the first image that we're going to be looking at the moment. This is a destructive element. This is a destructive filament energy that you can see in this section here. It really does rip off from the sun. There's a lot of fire involved, a lot of ejecta, and this can be very destructive to the energies of the earth. There it is there. You can see that big eruption. There's a big amount of filament energies that come off. And that's when the passion gets out of control. And that usually happens when we're building up in the cycle, because it's a new injection of passion. The sunspots start getting a lot more regular, and therefore the passion is really emotionally, is driving the emotional sort of situation. That's another way of looking at the eruption. So we tend to get that when we're building up to the height of cycle, and then as we're coming down, this is where there tends to be a little bit more control. It's a bit like a horse and cart. When you're going up the mountain, the horse has just got just grind in and get that going out there, and it's got to dig in deep. But going down is a lot more tricky. There's a lot more control that is needed by the horse. And this is where the descending energy is very, very much like that. And we have to have control over that. Now, I talked about that in the last week's energy update. If you haven't seen that, please do go and see it. I was talking about the filament energies that were driving a lot of things in the sun at the moment, and how that fire went through the filament energy. So it was coming out of this energy here, and a little filament energy, and it goes into this sunspot, which is sort of now pretty much pleated out more than anything else, because it's been fed by that first sunspot. As you can see here, as it goes through slowly, you can see these little energies that come zipping out of this section here and going off. And that comes along with sort of solar flares as well happening in this sort of section there. So as it comes through here, you can see that little, that flighty bit of fire that comes through it. But there was no actual eruption, so therefore it is just very good, honest passion within your emotions. There is also a filament release, which we've seen over the past few days, and that is coming up in an energy update tonight, as this video also goes out. And this is where we're talking about this filament energy here. Absolutely massive it is. And it comes after an eruption, solar flare from there, which you'll see here. Here it comes here on this solar flare. There it is just there, happening just before the release. So let me just take it back to that solar flare. It was only a small M flare, but at the same time, it was released enough energy. And we can just see it happening around about there. There it comes in there with that flash there at that point. There it is there. That's the flash there that comes through. And then you can see around the sun here, the energy is being released here around the sun. And as it flashes again, there it is, another flash there. As it flashes again on that section there, it really does start releasing that filament energy that comes around here, but in a very orderly manner. And it's not, I don't think it's majorly going to be affecting the Earth because it didn't have that explosive factor. So it's all about controlling over the next year, controlling the emotions as we go on to the future, as we go through this coming year. Controlling the passions that we put into our emotions so we don't, chop our nose off just to spite our face, as it were. Okay? So that's the thing we've been going on. Let's have a look now and see how that plays into your elements. Now, this is a sort of the Astroflower over a whole year, as it were. Okay, so let's just see here we're starting on let's start right on your season. So here's on your season as we go forward in the year. You can see the elements start changing behind you. So as we come into now, this is the time of Sagittarius, and you can start seeing that certain elements are playing together and certain elements are not playing together. And what we're going to be doing is going through each month as it goes through the whole time. You can see the different changes of elements that comes through your sign. What we're going to do is we're going to start with December and work our way through and see how that plays in accordance to your yearly reading. So let's just bring up where's Capricorn gone? There's the Sagittarius and there's Capricorn there. So let me just put a stop on that, and let me just take that back to there. Okay, so that's everything. This is the first month that plays into these cards here. Okay, so let's just have a look. We can sort of see on this side here, you have a good amount of water and fire that's coming through from the energies that are influencing at the moment. It is trying a little bit your emotions and your fixed emotions and your fixed ideals of how to do things. And as I said, I think this is where you're learning about a whole new cycle. And I think it's going to be a little bit tricky in these first 3 months this first month between January, going from December through to January. In those sort of sections there. Also getting the water and earth sort of scenario that plays, water, earth and air scenario that plays in on these first 3 months in this section here. And it is sort of trying to get those ideas into reality, placed into reality through an emotional direction in your life. And that's what seems to be playing the most on it. I think the crossing point here is this section here, is how you adapt this, which is driving through you at the moment, that newfound desires, into your here and now, basically. And I think that's the energies, because you get a lot of fire and air. And as I said, we've got a lot of filament energy, so we're looking at water and the combining waters and so forth. But it's so prominent within you in regards to, what you're actually doing. It ties in your karmic path because you've got water on water here. You've got air on air. You've got air on earth, on your earth. And you've got water on your air as well, on that side as well. So, it's playing into this section here of how that sort of gets developed. King of Pentacles, and I think that's where you are in this moment here. I think you're looking for a lot more security and victory, most definitely in this first 3 months, and it's happening in the first month, in the here and now, of your life. So it's being that sort of Queen of Wands scenario and that Emperor energy of applying it into your life. And you get the Queen of Wands with the relationship side. So this is like abundance and security. I think this is what you're gradually building on. And on your financial side, you get the Seven of Swords. I think this is where you start becoming a lot more intelligent about how you've got to go about this, and realize that it's not an overnight thing. It's something that's really opening up to you more than anything else. Let's move on to the following month and see what's happening there for you. Let's see what's happening in February. So this is going into Aquarius season for you. So as we play it, allows it to go through. You can see that water and that air and fire that comes through you. And here we have the Aquarius season here. And you know, there is, in a way, it's the world upside down. It's the world upside down. And this is where you're really learning about stuff here. And you get a lot of the earth, you get fire and water that's going through here on your section here. This plays in on that cardinal fire. And I think this is in the second month. This is where you're going to find a little bit of sort of complications and difficulties. But you've also, at the same time, you've got this water energy that comes through here, which plays on your mutable fire. So let's put a few things on that. On that side there, there is this Three of Cups all about. And I think it's to do with your relationships that are around you. And you get the Magician card as well on there. I think this is where you'll start manifesting things within your groups of people that are around you in a really good way, in a sense that you are going after what you want, but you've got to just be understanding that not everyone is going to has got the memo, as it were. And you get the Seven of Cups as well, playing on this side here on the first 3 months, and it does play in a little bit more towards your karmic path. So you're getting this whole idea in the second month of being really completely in line or in tune with what you should be doing, and you can really start manifesting things. But it's going to create a little bit of a bump, a little bit of a complication within the people that are around you. Let's just see. But you are starting to manifest in the second month, in the season of Aquarius. Let's just move on to the next season here. So this is Pisces season. This is a fellow water sign. So look at all the elements. They fit together really nice. Everything sort of fits in together. And this empowers you. It gives you solidness to your karmic path. It gives you solidness going into this part here, where you've got the Nine of Wands and the King of Wands. But also on your financial side, it gives you that passion to drive on, because you've got fire on fire and you've got earth on earth. It really does blow very well for you on your financial side. And it's like the world is giving you a direction here. It's giving you that Nine of Pentacles. It's giving you that payment back into your life. The only sort of conflictual sort of points you get here is that sort of fire and water that's coming down around your karmic path here, and fire and water that's coming around this section here. So let's just put a few cards on that section, see what the information comes in on that. You get the Seven of Wands with your people that are around you. I think it becomes evident for you the path that you need to follow. And yes, some people are not going to understand. And this is where I think in March, in the beginning of March, around that period there, you're going to start realizing some people around you that, that really just almost trying to hold you back rather than allow you to go forward. And this is what comes on your karmic path. You get the King of Swords. You have your better judgment from within you. You have this capacity in this month here to realize the pathway that you should be following. And once you do get into that, it's going to become very blatantly obvious who should be in your entourage in the future, basically. Then we move on to Aries season. Let's just bring that into play. So you've got fire on your water that literally goes all the way around, because Aries is a pure fire sign, but you still get this fire and water that's playing in on your karmic path a lot on this side. It becomes a little bit more sort of concrete with actually in the real world, but within you it could be just trying you a little bit more than anything else. So let's just see what's going on there. Let's what's happening down there. You got the air and on your financial side, though, it seems pretty straightforward. You've got your water and your earth on this side here, and you've got your fire and your air on this in this month here. I think it becomes very productive. I think this is where you get fully on into your stride more than anything else. But let's just pull a few things on the karmic path that's going on this section here and how that plays out. Look at that. You get the Six of Swords. You get nothing but the Six of Swords here. You've got 3 times the Six of Swords on this thing. And this is you taking you. I think this is you taking that King of Swords from, that you had the month before and really driving your future. And you're starting to take control over your destination, over your future. Is there any other thing that sort of like goes into it? I think it's going to be trying for you, a little bit trying for you mentally, emotionally as well, of how to put these sort of things into place. And you get the Seven of Cups, which falls in with the Eight of Cups and the energy that's flowing through you. Yeah, I think it's basically this month here during Aries season. If you feel it and it feels right for you, then follow it. And that's where I think you're getting into that whole sort of scenario of what is good for you. And this is where we lead into the next section here, where we go into Taurus season, which is very good for you. Taurus season, where you get this power come into your life with the King of Wands and the Nine of Wands. And also on your financial side, you get the Nine of Pentacles. It's really, you're on the cusp of something amazing, really. And every element seems to go together. Where you've got air, you've got fire. Where you've got, earth, you've got water. There's a real sort of productive moment for you. And I would think it's more of a case of in Taurus season, so going from April through to June. This is where it sort of comes into play. April through to is it April through to June? No, it's March. It's April through to June. Yes. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's March through to April. Blimey, March through to April. I think this is where you're going to sort of like. This is where the Ace of Wands really comes into play, and that's where you get the Justice card. Things really start motoring within your financial sides. You start getting the rewards and you start getting the messages and the understanding on your relationship side. And that's what I was talking about with the Nine of Wands being backed up with the Eight of Wands. In the Taurus season, everything just sort of now starts fitting into place, as I was sort of saying earlier on. And then over in the next month after that, where you move into Gemini season. Now, Gemini is obviously an air sign. It's a mutable sign as well. And this does play well. I just want to have a quick look, see where the you do get running through you here this water and fire energy. And it will be getting, as we go further on in the year, it will be transferring into water and earth. And you've got water and earth at your base here in a lot of places. But generally, I think is going to be trying a little bit your here and now and how you put things into place. I think this is a real transitional month for these 3 periods here. The energies that come into your life for this period is on your relationship side is the Star card. I think you're, as I said, reach for the stars, breaking through a sort of glass ceiling. I think this is starting to happen. I think you're starting to get the confidence to reach for the stars. And on your financial side, it's almost as if, like, as I said, things are starting to work for you, starting to come into your life with the Three of Wands. You don't have to sort of, you don't have to try too hard in this. You've just got to, it's almost as if like you've been cycling up a hill, up a mountain, and now you're going down the other side of the mountain. And you don't have to pedal hard, but you have to control your speed, your direction, everything like that as you go forward. And I think this is the month in which you start grasping the control over the situation. And because you start grasping control over the situation, I'm not sure that everybody is completely on board with that, with what you're doing. But then that's fine. That's their problem, not yours, in the relationship sort of side. Here we move on into Cancer. So this is going from June through to August. No, June through to July. Okay. So you get this cardinal water that goes with your water as well. But then you get the earth with the air at the base. Okay. There's no water fire combinations going on, direct combinations as I can see. It's all about this month here, it's all about getting in alignment with your passions, and this is what we get here with the fires going through here, but it's also getting on and doing here. There's a lot of energies of you get earth on earth, you get earth with earth, and then earth on fire, and it works incredibly well for you. There's a lot of converting ideas into reality. So let's just this is where you get the Ace of Swords. I think that's Ace of Wands, sorry. I think that's in that month there. The Ace of Wands is really driving that passion for those, that King of Wands and that Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. On your financial side, you get the Knight of Pentacles. And as I was saying on here, you're getting the results, but you've got to keep some of the tomatoes in order to have the seeds so you can plant up what you so desire for your future, cultivating your own luck and opportunity. On your relationship side, you're really getting into the passions of you living your life. Okay, let's move on to the next month after that. So we're moving on into Leo season. And this is where we get into the almost like the first 3 months before your birthday, moving into your autumn period. You get fire on a various few things. Let me just move that to one side so I can just see the elements properly. Well, you get mainly fire on earth within your sign. Which is really good. Very productive energy, going from June through to July through to August, sorry. And in this period here, I think you're being very, very productive. I think also on your relationship side, it's like finally now you've got enough momentum within your confidence to, pull people out of your life that no need to be connected to your life. Yeah, you get the Five of Pentacles there on that side. On your relationship side, it seems to be playing much more into the here and now, and it's like maybe you're actually taking yourself out of a situation. Could be family, friends, community, things like that. You're taking yourself out of a situation that doesn't really serve you anymore. And on your financial side, you get the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, and it does work very well on your financial side, I think, more than anything else. It's really starting getting that earth energy moving in. And it's finally you're getting the rewards from the Six of Pentacles, which you had, the Six of Swords, sorry, which you had in the first 3 months here. I think you're finally realizing that, yes, I have a foundation that I can take life on in a really good way. I have a foundation so I can start almost investing in ideas that are good for me more than anything else. Okay, so let's move on into the next section here. For the next month, we have Virgo season for you. So Virgo season comes into that. This is where you get very passionate about life. I think Virgo's season tends to be a very good season for you. And I think this is where you start to see through things, and where you're going to be on your relationship side is where you're going to be letting go of something and taking control over the situation. But also at the same time, you know where you're going, because over the past couple of months before that, you've had some good earth energies, and you start moving forward into manifesting what you so desire. So I think this is really, it's a very taking control of the situation in this month here of Virgo. You get the Five of Wands. There may be a form of conflict that is attached to this. It may be an argument or something like that that's attached to this. Or it could be a case of you just actually going after what is good for you. On your financial side, you get the Four of Wands in August, September. Four of Wands is about a new job, new opportunity. And I think that's what's pertaining to that, which comes out in the last 3 months of the year, which goes from October, November, December. I think you're now starting to get this in August and September. You're getting this notion that, you know, life is to be lived, and you're taking complete control of it. And because you're realizing that a sideline or an opportunity or a new job of, you know, going for a new job is beneficial to you, because you're not going to get the results what you thought you were going to get out of the job you're doing or out of the business you were doing, you know, leading up to that. But as I said before, you've got to go through that in order to have that opportunity that arrives for you. Okay, but it's very, very productive more than anything else. Okay, let's move on to the next section here. We're moving on to Libra season. A Libra season, we start to find a little bit of a sort of fire and water scenario. So this is your fire that comes through you here, playing on the fire. There is no other fire that's going on around. It's very much on the surface of the transition between the past to the future. So it's going to be a little bit in the here and now. We're into this section here. This section here. On your relationship side, you had the King of Cups and the Nine of Swords. Yeah, I do think you need to go through a little bit of woes and worries in order to get to the happy place, as it were. And on your financial side, this is where you start making that realization that the path that you're on at the moment, although it gives you security, is not going to give you the cherry or the icing on the cake. And now you're starting to discover that. On your financial side, on your relationship side, you have the Queen of Wands. I think this is where you need to distract yourself in September, October time. To distract yourself, I think you need to get involved in a lot of different activities to take yourself away from this. And this is where you'll be quelling any of those woes and worries that you might have gone through in August and September in regards to relationship sides. And it's becoming for you much, much clearer that your future is destined elsewhere, as it were. On your financial side, look at that. That's that opportunity that's coming in there, as I said, here on these two cards here. That's the opportunity that I think is coming in for you. And it's realizing how much you enjoy it, how much is good for you in your life. I think that's what plays out. There seems to be an opportunity for you to take things to a completely next level. Okay, and then we get into October, November. Obviously, this is your birthday season, so everything is sitting right for you. Okay, everything is sitting right. You should be sitting within your power in a way that you have created. Because of the last 3 months before your birthday, you should know what you want to be doing in the coming year. And now you're really sort of creating that energy and getting and putting into action those plans for that coming year. Okay, so I think we're going to be playing on the relationship side here more than anything else. You get the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, this is where the Nine of Pentacles is replacing that, and it's replacing that Nine of Swords with that King of Cups. And all of a sudden, you're becoming very much more secure within your emotions because you've been through something with people that are around you. You've now got 3 Nine of Pentacles sitting on the table at that point there. It really, it bodes incredibly well for you because you're putting yourself first. As I said, like on one side of the 9 of Pentacles, you've got the 6 of Pentacles, which you've got down there. And it's you getting some really good quality connections with other people that make you feel fantastic. And then finally, anything that you've had been going in the past, connections with friends and families, you're finally getting to the stage where you kind of sort of saying, no, I'm pulling out of that. And you're feeling good about it. On your financial side, you get 8 of Pentacles. With that Ace of Pentacles that came through, it has driven a lot of work for you. It works really well. Things start falling into place. You start working on the finer details of a new plan or the next stage in your life on your financial or your career path or your business and so forth. And then obviously after that, November to December, we're just going to go into the Sagittarius period here. Let's just see what is going on there. We've got just let me bring it up. So here we got the Sagittarius season as well. You have going through, I just want to check that as the is Earth. You got your fire on your Earth, so it becomes very much more productive in the way of relationship side, but also on your financial side. It becomes a lot more sort of like consistent. You're getting a real rhythm in life as you're building up to the end of the year before 2026. Really things start fitting into place and falling into place for you. Financially, on that side there is a lot of water that's going on because obviously you've got your Scorpio energy that goes through you. And I think this is the month, really, just the month before Christmas, where you almost like, December, where you feel at one with yourself in regards to your financial side. On your relationship side, that's what's dead, done and dusted with. It's over. That's what is over. It seems to be like the nail in the coffin of something. And I think it started much bigger at the end of the year. And I think it's gradually accumulated in the future. And I think you're getting rid of that. I don't think you're saying goodbye to that painful situation that went between sort of August and October period. I think you're saying finally goodbye to that. And on your financial side, you got the Ace of Cups. So it's really out with the old and in with the new. And that's where the Ace of Wands comes in play. I just want to see what that, put another card on that there. Page of Wands. Yeah, I think you need that energy. I think you need that vibrant discovery of your passions in life, which is going to get you past this 3 of Swords. I think the 3 of Swords is a final moment for you. Yeah, you get the 10 of Wands with it. I think that's what you're saying goodbye to. You're letting go of trying to carry too much in the world in that last month before you go forward, because you've changed. You're changing, Scorpio. You've changed. You're not the same person that started 2025. So there you go, Scorpio. Thanking you very much for being here with us. Really do appreciate your support. I hope you get the best out of these readings. As I say, it will be time stamped where you can go back and look over this on the monthly periods and stuff like that over the coming year and the next few months. Yes, don't forget. Thank you for all the support and everything like that. Don't forget, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.